today's topic is route management. Uh, for that, we have two kinds of things: the Navigator API, and then we have Core Router package. Then the next topic we will be continuing a little bit what we left yesterday, continuation of widgets and few refactoring things. So I'm creating a new project for today's session. So from today onwards, I'm continuing with VS Code. So I will simply write code and the folder name, the project name which I created, session 2. Now, uh, now here as we see this run option, run and debug option, I will just click on run and debug here, or otherwise I can also click on run from the top toolbar and click on start debugging here. Then if this pop-up comes, this comes sometimes, and sometimes it's selected by default. So I will select Dart and Flutter, and it will debug on the available simulator. From the today's from the yesterday's question, I found a code space, GitHub code space for Flutter. I will share the link, and will share the link after this session. Then we can run the Flutter, like we can use Flutter outside of this our system configuration. We can just directly open the GitHub code space on our website, and then we can develop. Yes, sir. No, no. Sure, sure. Raza, please, just admit all whenever it comes there.
Yes, sir, I'm doing that. Accepting every request.
So now our application, yeah, sure, sir. So now our application is running. Now I will go to, uh, okay, so in VS Code, we have many shortcuts. So I will not go and every time and click open the files. We'll sometimes use the shortcut. So we can also manually do those things. I will just give the shortcuts as well. I'm doing Command P, or for Mac or for Windows, it will be Control P to open the command palette. So this command palette in VS Code is very useful. We can do many things using this command palette. The shortcut is Control P. I will just write the name of the file where I want to go, main.dart, and it will open here. I will first of all clear the comments so that it is clean. And I will also remove the sample my app widget, my homepage widget here. For now, I'm also removing this home from here. So because we have no scaffold and no default widget screen, so that's why it's coming black now. Let me go and see open the Flutter docs once. So this is the base thing which the fundamental thing in Flutter. Based on this, there are many routing mechanisms. This is called as Navigator API. So we won't be using it like we will be using the packages developed on this, but we won't be directly using this. I will just give the overview of how we can implement, like use the Navigator API. So there's a it's a class which has all the functionality for routing in Flutter. We says those things, few of the things like these kinds of classes as API. So this is a navigator API. So what are the things we need in an application to route for routing? We need we sometimes want to navigate from one application, one screen to the second screen. That can be the both of the screens can be the main screens, or both of the next screen can be the sub screen of the previous. Suppose a detailed screen. So like let me open try to get some examples. Detailed sub screen or details screen. Okay, so as we can see this one, we have a bottom navigation here. This is one second. I hope this is visible. So this is the main screen, home screen of an application. And if we click on some of this icons or cards, this will open the detail screen. So this is one use case when we open a detail screen, which has the back button to go again come back, or there can be a second case when we switch the pages. Like if we go from explore button to favorite button, this will change the screen above, but that will be a main page, not sub page. So there are two kinds of things, a sub page and a changing between main pages. So now when we see here, using these kinds of configuration directly on the basis of navigator is a bit difficult, but the simplest thing we can use is navigator dot off context the syntax, and then we push a screen. This is like take come this is pushing to a screen from a main screen to a sub screen, like that. It is going whatever screen I am on right now, it is going to song screen. I will just give an example here for that. I'm undoing this home. I will create my own home page. I'm calling it as home screen. I will create a stateless widget, home screen. This is a default placeholder widget which comes. It's just a cross kind of thing. I will remove this and will place a scaffold inside that body. First thing which I mentioned, which I need to place here is safe area. Then I will place a single child scroll view because the contents may not fit, so that's why. Then child, I will use a column for placing everything vertically. Then because it will align everything vertically, it will take multiple children's. If you remember from yesterday, I will place a few buttons here. Suppose elevated button. This shouldn't be const. Okay, so remember one thing that I mentioned, that those widgets which don't have the constant values as the value for all the parameters, or they don't have the const constructor, so they can't accept const. So it's not that I am even though I'm not providing a const here, it's giving throwing me error. If I remove this, you can see I will still have the error because of this, because this is not a constant, but I haven't provided a const here. Since I have provided a const at the top, it it means like it is assuming that whole scaffold is const. If I provide a const here, it will assume that I mean to say that whole elevated button is const if I place it here. So this const is assuming that the whole scaffold is constant, but it is not, because here we can't provide the constant value. So I need to remove here. Now it is perfectly fine. Okay, so I will now give it as go to second screen. The default button is coming here, elevated button. Go to second screen. If I click on this, nothing happens because the function is empty. Now I will create another screen here below. So every screen is also nothing but a widget, as this is a home screen, but it is a stateless widget. Now I will create another widget, which will be another screen. So I will type the like suggestion hints. Suppose details screen. I forgot the safe area here. So now if I want to go from this screen, I'm also, let me give a app bar to both the screens so that we know which screen it is. I will copy paste this to the details screen as well. So now when I want to go from home screen, this widget to the detail screen, I need to write a code for call the navigator's push function, navigator dot off context. So I remember one of the participants asked about the context, build context here. So I also mentioned that this is the locator of the widget. So this will track from where to where I'm going. That's why we are writing off context. It is also a concept of inherited widgets here, but I won't be going into the details of that because we have time constraints. Uh, we just simply need to write navigator.off context, and we can we can think of it as it is tracking from where to where I'm going, the starting to destination. Then I need to call the functions inside this. So the first one is push. So I will push a route inside this one. It is accepting a route. So what is a route? It is like suppose we have material page route. Most of the time when uh, we may be opening a screen. So for this case, we are opening a screen. So I will just use this material page route. There are few more things like page route builder and model bottom sheet route. Those are for when we want to open the model bottom sheet. Suppose for a card screen when it comes as bottom. I will give an example also. Bottom sheet. mm, Yeah. So when this button is clicked, the bottom sheet opens up. So this thing which comes from the bottom and just covers a part of the screen partially is known as bottom sheet. Is called bottom sheet. This is useful when we want to show something, some in data or something, but we don't want to use a new screen. For those kind of use cases, we use bottom sheet. But right now, I'm pushing a new screen, so I will just use material page route, and then it takes a builder. But what is builder? Builder parameter is a function which returns widget. and function which has the parameter as build context. So I will simply write the value as like this. And as it because it takes a context in the parameter, I will just write the value of it. Its type is build context, but I don't need to write the type here. It's suggesting that this will be the type, but I'm writing the value what I will be using here inside. Also, this function should return a widget. This is the function. This should return a widget. So what I will do, I will return the below screen, detail screen, like this. So because this is a one-liner, we also have something like in Java, we have lambda functions, which is a single line function. Here also we have arrow functions, where we just need to remove these two arrows. Only in the case of where we have one line functions, like the function body is of one line, then we can use that. Just so because the code is cleaner. So I will remove this bracket and this return, and will place the arrow before this, after this first bracket parenthesis. It will also remove the colon, semicolon. I will give commas for better formatting. So also there's one thing that when we are passing a function to a parameter, to any parameter, we may have something inside this function parameters. So those, if we are not using that, suppose there we have context here, we may or may not use that. If we are not using that, it's like suggested to use an underscore, like it is a placeholder. Because context is not used, we are just using a placeholder there. And if even if we want to use that, we can always use this placeholder as well. Suppose if I want to pass context here, or for whatever I want to use context, this context over here inside the function body, then I can use this underscore as well. So now when I click on go to second screen, it will open the detail screen. As you can see, we also have a leading back button by default here, and it takes me to the back of the screen, but I haven't added anything in the detail screen. As you can see, I only have the app bar, but I haven't added. It is the default functionality of Flutter's Navigator API. When we push a screen, it assumes that the next screen is a subscreen, because like the push is for that only. Push is for pushing a new screen, subscreen. So if I want to go back from the detail screen to the home screen, the first thing is we have a back button in the app bar. Also, if I remove this app bar here, the back button will go away, because the app bar will only come by default when we have a app bar. Sorry, the back button will only come in the app bar when we have an app bar in the next screen. But I want to have some other button as well, which from which I want to go back. So then I can have one more button here. I'm copying just for to save the time from the above. I need to remove const, and instead of this, I'm just removing this implementation function implementation and changing the text as go back. Here I need to write navigator dot of context dot pop. So when I click on go back, it will go to the home screen. So we have push to push us to a go to a screen, push to a screen, and pop to come back to the previous screen. This will come back to the previous screen. Suppose if I have one more screen here, I will just copy this detail screen and will rename it as detail screen 2. Detail screen 2. And again I have pop here. I will add one more button in the first detail screen as go to detail screen 2, and we'll change the implementation as well. So my current code implementation is like I have a home screen widget here, which has a button to go to the detail screen, push to the detail screen. And next we have a detail in the detail screen. We have a button to go to the detail screen 2 and a button to go back. This will go back to the home screen. Go back to the home screen. So now let me restart it once. Now when I click on go to second screen, it will go to detail screen. Then we have go to detail screen 2. If I go to this and click on go back, this will go to detail screen. Then again, if I click on go back, it will go to home screen. So it will pop one screen, like remove the last screen. So how this works, let me open this, and we'll try to explain the how navigation works. Suppose I have a screen here, which is so home screen. Now I have another screen, which is details screen, and we have another third screen. So this is like after home screen we have a stack, like how we have a data structure stack. It the navigation also works in that way. We have this as in the bottom. This is the first in the stack. Then this comes the second element. Then this comes as the third element. So when we pop, it just removes the last one. It just removes this third screen first, then the detail screen, then the home screen. Because we don't have anything after before the home screen, so it won't remove this one. We need to have at least one of this. If I implement a logo pop here in the home screen, it will just crash the application because we need at least one screen for the app to work. So there are more functions in this navigator API, but I would like to use show the Go Router package now because we will not be using this in our projects directly because we need all many more functionalities in the routing. Which this is the basic implementation provided by the default provided by the Flutter. So we have a package here named as Go Router, which is also provided by Flutter itself. That is the base implementation, and this is a implementation above that navigator API. So we will import this. We will use this dependency in our project. I will go to pubspec.yaml. Uh, Razak, is there any lag in our video, like my voice and video?
No, Ayush, it's completely.
Sorry.
No, Ayush, yes, no lag. It's completely fine.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So here also let me remove the unnecessary comments. So I will just come to this line and will enter and paste this line. Here in the PubSpec YAML file, we just need to note the indentation as we have that in Python languages. That only that is a thing we need to note here. Core router. So we also have one more package here which is Go Router Builder. Please search that. I'm copying this. I need to add this Go Router Builder in the dev under the dev dependencies. As we can see in the README also, that under the usage dependencies, to use Go Router Builder, you need to have the following dependencies in perfect.yaml. Along with other dependencies, I need to have Go Router Builder. So why we are adding it under the dev dependencies? Because it is providing me useful things while I'm developing, while I'm in the development process. But it's not useful when I'm like when the user is using the application, when the application is bundled and provided to them. This will just generate some code which will make our life easier. Also, to generate for any kind of code generation tools, we need to add one more package under the dev dependencies, which is common for any other code generation packages, which is build runner. So there's one more easy thing in this VS Code extension what we have, which we have installed in VS Code here, extensions, Flutter extension. We have this command palette here. I can write this right arrow, and select the dart add dependency. This will directly add my dependency here. I just need to type the name of the dependency. So right now I want to add build runner. So I will just add the name. This will come. I need to select this build runner. This will add the dependency. So sorry, added it as a dependency. That's why it added here. I can also go to add dev dependency. If I'm not getting this option directly here, I can also search here, add dev dependency. So this option, now I will search for build runner, add this, it's added under the dev dependencies. So also due to the Flutter extensions in both Android Studio or VS Code, the pubget will automatically happen. But if by chance it doesn't happen, we manually need to write the Flutter pubget or do the this click on this button, get packages button, whether it's on Android Studio or VS Code. Then we need to have some configuration for Go router to work. So first of all, we need to call another constructor of material app here. Wherever we have the material app, we need to change it to material app.router. Then we can't have home property in the material app.router. So we need to remove that because it's continuously reloading. So that's why it uh, throw the error. I need to write the pass the router config parameter here. What it will take a router config, object of a router config. So let me write a router config. First, I will try to create the router in another file. So inside lib folder, whatever code we write, we will be writing in the inside the lib folder. So I'm creating a new file and I'm naming as app router dot dart. So note the extension. We need to create every file with dot dart extension. So here uh, I will create an object of go router, final router, because this variable this object won't be changing. So that's why I'm creating a final using the final keyword. Now I will create a go router object. Then I need to pass the routes, list of routes. Okay. So the first thing is routes. So here I need to provide the list of routes. I will create the routes here first of all. So using the Go Router package, we can also ignore this Go Router builder. Why we are using Go Router builder is to create type safe routes. When we are like suppose I am passing something as which is accepting string, but I am passing int. So that to detect those things, we need to use types. We need to create type safe routes so that in the compile time those errors will be detected. So that's why this Go Router builder helps in doing that. So now I will create some routes by writing @type go route. I think I need to first import that manually. Go Router builder. Okay. Now I will create the type go route. That will be a class. The first one, suppose I'm creating a home route for going to the home screen. For every screen, we will be writing one route. So this home route will extends go route data. This class. We need to pass some parameters to this type go route. That's why it's giving error. Let me first complete this one. So we are overriding this build method here. For every route, we'll be overriding the build method. We have more methods in go route data, but most of the time we'll be using only the build method, which is to return the widget. What we were returning in this navigator API, we were returning the details in like this kind of thing. We were returning in the builder. Here we are, as we are creating route, we are returning that in the build method. So there are more methods. Let me show that. Like we have built to like construct the widget what we will be showing in that route. Then we have build page. There's just a basic difference in widget and page. It is for the animation. When we use the build method, it will go to the next screen without any animation. Like there's a default animation for Android and iOS. Those platform specific like uh, navigation transition will be there, but nothing else. If we want custom animation or custom transition when we are going to another screen, we can use build page instead of build method. Then we have redirect. Based on some conditions, we may want to go to another screen instead of that. Suppose I'm not logged into a suppose any website. Suppose this Teams website. I'm not logged in and I'm trying to access something using a route, but there's a checking between like before going to the route that the user is authenticated or not. So those kind of checking and redirection can be done in this redirect method. We need to implement this, override this redirect method. Then we have on exit. So on exit is as the name says, when the route is exited, like when I go back to the to the previous screen or go to another screen, next screen. So this will be called. Sorry, not when we go to the next screen. When we go back to the previous screen, called when this route is removed from Go router's route history. So as I mentioned, there's a navigation stack for the screens. Go router also works in the same way because the fundamentals are same. It just creates a route. It is naming it as route history. We have few other methods here, but that's not needed. The main thing is these three, four methods: build page, on exit, and redirect. Then here we don't want this one. We want to return home screen for the home route. We also need to pass path and name parameter here. For this route, there will be path, there will be name. So what is path? Path is nothing but how we work in the websites for using the URLs. So this core router also works in the same way, URL based routing. We also have that in the Navigator API, which came in Navigator 2.0. So this makes our work easier when we want to implement deep linking. We have a concept of deep linking, which is for opening our application from another, suppose application from another application. Like we may want to open our application from Gmail or from a website. I want to open my application. There may be a use case of opening our application from a button or something, from a link on another application. So for that we need URL based routing. We can't have this navigator kind of thing, and can you implement deep linking. So there are many benefits of go route. This is one of them. So for path, I will provide simply slash home, and for name, I will provide just home. We can also create a class with static getters for these kind of things, or enums, but we'll simply provide the hard coded values for now. And then I will provide the route here. So I will just call home route. Sorry, as because I have like I am creating using the Go Router builder, I will this will generate. This is the annotation for creating the home route. This is not the complete implementation of home route. This is just the annotation, and based on this annotation, Go Router builder will automatically generate the code for us. So for generating the code, we need to provide a file name where this will be generated. So we need to provide a part file, as we are writing import, like this is importing a file from another from this project. We need to mention a part file, which is like the name suggests, this is the part of this file, app router file only. So this needs to be written as like core router, sorry, app router dot g dot dart. So this should be similar to the file name what we already have here, app underscore router. Just we need to add dot g before dot dart. Just think, this can't be, if I do a typing mistake here, this won't be generated. I need to write the exact same file name here and then dot g dot dart. This will generate all the routes which I will create here, like for home route, details route, whatever I will create the annotations here, it will create the whole implementation for those routes. And then I need to provide, how will I access those routes here? I will just need to write dollar app routes. How do I know this? This is written on the documentation. This one, app routes. So basically, this is the Go routers implementation, that they are naming the getter of the all the routes as app routes with dollar symbol. We can access that. So now it is throwing errors because the code isn't generated. We need to type a command for that, which is dart. I don't know if it is visible. It should be visible now. Dart run build runner build. So we are giving a command to the Dart saying that please run this build runner package, and the flag is build. This will find whatever wherever we have .g files, this generation kind of thing. It will generate all the files accordingly, according to the annotations provided and the package dev packages for that, like Go Router Builder, or we will have more those kind of packages in the later classes. So there's some error. You can see the typed core out annotations must have a type parameter that matches the annotated element. Let me check that. Okay, we need to provide a type for this core out. We all like we need to write it above this one, but still we also need to provide the type to this type core out. So we'll just give it give us home route here. So this type core out is for this home route. It's just for easy access. I have created it below, but we can also you like create it somewhere else as well. It's not necessary to create alongside. It's just for easy access. So I need to run this command again. Dart run build runner build. Okay. Actually, what if we have any error in any of the files on the whole project? This build runner will not work. So we need to write. We need to give the value here as the router, which we created in the app router file. Here we have this router for the core router. This we need to pass in the router config of this material app.router, this class. So now it will work. I need to run this command again. So it is succeeded. Now I will show the file it has generated. We have this approuter.g.dart, which is the generated file, as it is written here also. So this much code has been written automatically for me. Now I will just create the routes for other two screens, which is detail screen and detail screen 2. I will just rename these two. So I have done nothing. I have just created the routes similar to home route for details route. For the detail screen, I have created details route, and for the detail screen 2, I have created details 2 route. And also this path and name should be unique for every route. Like this home shouldn't be used, slash home shouldn't be used for any other routes. Same for the name. This shouldn't be used for any other routes. Now I will let me restart it. It's throwing error because we have added some dependencies and those configurations are not working correctly. There's some issues. I need to run it again. I'm closing it and I don't know why it's taking so much time. I think I have imported an file mistakenly. Let me check. Till the time it's running, can we like if anyone has doubts, can we take that in between? Okay, I think it's fine now. So now I need to provide initial route here in the go route so that it knows where, like if you remember, we were providing a home here for the initial screen. Now with the go route, we need to provide the initial route here, initial location. So what is location? It is nothing but this path. So I will just give the initial which path I want to go. Just a second. Razak, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please prepare your once like the project once if this creates the problem again.
Okay, okay, okay. Give me a minute.
Yeah, sure. Just give us 2 minutes. We will be like Razak will be sharing the screen. There's some issues. Let me figure that out. Also we have one more command here. This brings us to this like Flutter clean. If we have some issues which is like we are not able to figure out, the first command we should use is Flutter clean. This will clean our workspace, the Xcode workspace build folder. This will delete the build folder from which this build the APK was running on the development environment, and also the other things which are auto generated, which we are not creating. So then after that, we need to run flutter pub get. Let me know, Razak, when it is, if you are ready to share. Till that time, I'm having that issue again. So till that time, I will explain few more things in the core router. I will go to this pub.dev readme file for Go router. Here, we already did the configuration for the routes in the app router file. Then we have this for the navigation. What we are doing, navigator.off context.push. Instead, we will be using this is for sorry, one second. Let me- Okay. So what we'll be doing instead is the name of the route. Because it's a class, we'll be simply treating it as a simple class. And will if we have any parameters inside that, I will come to that later on. So simply for now, it will be like home screen or detail screen with the parentheses, and then go or push or pop. Yeah, sorry, go or push. We have two methods here. What go does is for like removing the previous route history. Whatever we have come through the previous route history, it will remove that and will create a new route history, like a new stack for the navigation. This will be the then it will be the family screen will be uh, the first uh, element in the stack in the route history. And then if we want to push a route instead of clearing the previous route history, we'll use push instead of this go. So we can say it like go to another route stack, route history, or navigation stack, or otherwise push a new route to this stack. So we can also, when we go to another screen, we can have use cases like we want something in return. When we come back to the previous screen, suppose we have two screens here, home screen and detail screen. So when I go to detail screen and come back from there, I want a result. Like it can be boolean, it can be string, or it can be anything. So I can return that when I'm doing pop here. For pop, I will just use context.pop here instead of navigator.context.pop. So when I'm writing context.pop, I will write use this function here, and inside this pop function, I will pass whatever value I want to pass here. Suppose it can be my name, or it can be any value like this. So from the function where I had done uh, details route dot push, there I can get the result, whatever the result I'm passing from the next screen, like this one. When I do push, I will get the result there by awaiting it. Now we also have I will come to this await later on when we come go to the futures and API callings, those things. But right now we can just assume that we will be getting this value in the future when the user pops back to the previous screen. So that's why we are awaiting for that. We are waiting for that result. So that's why we are just writing await here, and we will get the result here. Next, we have that if we want to provide some parameters to the when while pushing to the next screen. Razak, are you ready to share the screen?
Yes, let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, yes, it is visible. Thank you. Just give me 1 minute. I'm sharing you the code. Or do you have that?
Actually, we can, yeah, continue with my.
Okay. Okay. Great.
I'm not using any Go route builder, but I think this will be much simpler to explain.
Okay, we can also continue with that because we also have the projects later on, so we can also discuss that later. The changes are not much for Go Router and Go Router Builder. It's just we are using the type safe routes in the Go Router Builder. So, Razak, please demo the like routing uh, using the Go Router from the
Uh,
dashboard page. Yeah,
Actually, I already have the code to send values to the next page using
yeah, you
Go
can
router.
just explain that thing and let's continue.
I can go with this one. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain it. So, uh, I think can you go to the first screen, like the home screen or whatever?
And this is the dashboard screen. We're using two buttons. Uh, One is simply navigating to the second page, and one button is navigating and sending data to the second page.
Okay, so here in the Go router, without the Go router builder, we are just using context instead of those routes. Uh, I think Razak, it will be better to show the builder itself because it may be confusing to show both of the things. I already explained the builder one. So can you just quickly change that at the build runner and Go router builder?
Yes, I'm having some SDK version conflict.
Sorry. You can just downgrade the version which you are using for build runner and Go router builder. Just use 2.6.0 kind of thing. So actually, when we don't have the SDK, Flutter SDK, we are not using the latest version. We also need to downgrade some of the uncompatible packages as well. And for that, we can go to this versions tab in the pub.dev and we can check the minimum Dart SDK here. So 2.7.1 uses 3.2 as the minimum Dart version. You can go to late, like Razak, you can use 2.5.1 for Go Router Builder. It's giving error for build runner. You can use what is the Dart SDK? 2.4.11. Yeah, that will also. I'm giving the code for this one, app routing. Razak, did you receive the code?
You have said in Skype or
In
something.
Skype? Yes, yes, yes. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I share that here or you can access Skype?
Okay. Let me stop my sharing comments before I open the Skype.
Sure, sure. Till that time, Tanmay sir, I think we can utilize to have, if anyone has any doubts, we can discuss those as well. And,
Hello, hello.
yes, yes, sir. Please.
Could you please summarize once more the use of Go router?
Yeah, sure. So, did you understood the use of Navigator? Why we use Navigator API? So,
Yes.
we have the Navigator API for route management, which is provided in the Flutter framework, Flutter SDK by default. Then Go Router is a package also provided by the Flutter, which like makes some like the navigation parts easier. Like there are many use cases which I can't discuss in our short sessions, so that's I haven't gone to that. But it suppose type safe routing, URL based routing, which is useful for deep linking, which is useful for like having routing which are like suppose if I want to pass string somewhere, but in the second screen I want to pass a string, but I don't know if some, because every time we won't be providing the values everywhere hard coded. It can come from the API, so we don't know the type of that value. So for those kind of things, we are using Go Router, which provides many other benefits. We can also let me share my screen once again. Uh, Go Router. We can also see the benefits here in the README package. We has just to be clear, you asked about the benefits or how we are implementing that.
No, not only benefits.
Okay, benefits. So this is already listed in the README file of this package, which is parsing the parameters, which I already said, like when we are passing some values to another screen. Then we have sub routes, which is very difficult to manage using Navigator API. That is very easier when we use Go Router, because we can have multiple sub routes and multiple main screens. When the project increases to, like, suppose 10-15 screens, then it is very difficult to manage the sub routes, which is very easier with this. Then we have redirection support. If we want some redirection, as I gave the example for authentication, to check the authentication, user is authenticated to use the screen or not. It can also be for authentication, and also for in the cases when we want to check the user type, that this user has the specific permission or not. There can be many other examples. We can use redirection there, which is very easier for that. If we want to use Navigator API, then it will be very difficult before every route call, like when we are doing this Navigator dot of context, before everything, we have to write a function where we are checking that this user is authenticated or not. Those function we need to write implement every time. But if we define the route at once, then we that redirect function will be automatically called every time when we are calling this route. Before that, we just implement the redirect function once. That can be automatically called every time. Then support for multiple navigators. So this we will be coming to this one later on. Like in this meeting itself, I haven't covered this one yet. This is for managing shell routes, which is for bottom navigation and drawer kind of things. Razak will be sharing this. Then these are not very useful for us to choose Go Router. This is just Material app and Cupertino apps. This Material app is nothing but which I'm using here. This one, Material app. So it's just saying that it is compatible with both Material app and Cupertino app. Material app is from for the Android things, and Cupertino app is for the iOS part. Then backwards compatibility, it means that we can also use Navigator API along with the Go Router. It's not that we can't use it. I hope I'm clear with the answer, or do you have any doubts?
Okay. I have another question. So before set elevated button, first we have to define routes, right?
Before having, can you please?
Before set the navigate programmatically. Programmatically, that means I mean to say before set a elevated button, and inside a elevated button declare a on pressed. So first we have to declare the routes, and then we go for the elevated button or using some on pressed.
Yes, actually, this is just for demonstration purpose that we are using a button to go to the next screen. So, but this can be also be extracted to a common function. That's not a there's no rule for that. We can also define routes first and then just directly call that function in the on pressed.
Okay.
It's there's no rule for that.
Okay. Okay, and you already mentioned, I think Material app is for Android user and for iOS.
Yes, actually, that provides the default theming kind of thing. But we can all we in almost every project we override them with our own theme, colors, and everything. So that doesn't matter if we use Material app or Cupertino app. That is just for providing default theme and default widgets, nothing else. It won't matter in almost every project. It won't matter.
Okay, is Material Lab is applicable for cross-platform or only for
Yes,
Android users?
yes. Both the Material app and Cupertino app is applicable for both any platforms.
Okay,
Like we can also use Cupertino app and build that application for Android and vice versa.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It is like Bootstrap you can use and write our own CSS. So I think Razak is ready. Have you generated using the part file?
Yeah, yeah, it's already generated.
Okay.
So I restart my application once. It's taking so much time.
Okay. Sure. So I apologize for the inconvenience caused. It was my mistake. I have imported the Go Router Builder package here, which we shouldn't do. The builder packages or the code generation packages we shouldn't import here. So now we will go to the this was the most difficult thing for using Go router. Now we come to the enjoyment part here, which is using the routes directly. We don't need to write this much code. Instead, we just need to call details route here. Then after that, call the push function. Instead of this whole navigator code here, we just need to write this one code, which is the details route, the whatever route we want to go, and then just the push function here, which takes context as the parameter, build context. If we see, if we click on go to second screen, it will work exactly similar. Just the difference is, sorry, even okay. So this will work like exactly same. It's just the difference that instead of writing the function, suppose if I wanted to go to this detail screen from any other screens as well. We will have many more screens in later on. So I don't have to write this every time. I just need to call the details route, and all the configuration for that route will be included in this typed go route. Suppose now there's one thing, I want to pass my name from the home screen to the detail screen. There can be use cases like I have a product screen and explore products and then go to the next screen for the product details. So I will like to pass the details of the products, everything. So I will come to this route class details route, this one. I will create some fields here like final string name, and will create a constructor as well. Details route. Now I will create a required parameter for name in the constructor like this, and then I can pass this name parameter. First I need to accept the name in the route, and then I need to pass that to the screen. There's two things now. From one screen I am going, from this home screen I am going to the details route first, then from the details route I am going to the details screen. So now I also need to make this constructor and field in the details screen. I will just copy this and paste here, and will change the name of this constructor to match the field. Sorry, we already have the constructor here. So I will include the parameter required this dot name. It is giving error because I need to pass the name in the route class. This is coming from top, this one. And now I need to pass the name to the details route as well. I can pass any string. I'm giving my name here, and for every change we need to run this command. So I don't want to run this command every time. So what I will do, I will just change the, instead of build in the last, I will just write watch. It will detect every change in our files and will run the code if needed. So I will run this, and I won't forget to because for running that every time we may forget. So instead of build, we are using dart run build runner watch. This will run for every change we do in the files. Now let me do some changes in details screen so that we know we are getting the parameter name parameter here. I'm using this name in. This is just string interpolation in Dart. I need to give provide dollar and then the variable name. If we have something as some objects or classes, if we want to need to write name dot access. If we want to access, suppose it was not a string, it was a custom user defined class which had more parameters. Then we and I want to access it like name dot something, some field inside that. Then I would like need to provide it like this inside the curly braces, and then name dot whatever it is. So this is string interpolation in Dart. Now when I restart it, I am clicking on go to second screen. Here comes the name Ayush. So suppose I'm also showing it by changing it like this. So now uh, the next thing is pop. I'm also changing this route as well. I'm commenting this one, and we'll do it like details screen. For details screen 2, we have here route as details 2 route. I will just use this details 2 route and will push to the next screen. This will work exactly the same way. So also the one point here written was backward compatibility. It just means that we can also use the navigator, not in this one. It was written backwards compatibility with navigator API. It only means that even if I write this navigator dot off context, the previous thing with what we were using, that will also work. For going to the details screen too, it's still the same. I will show. It will still work. It won't break the application or crash the application. So till now we have seen how to configure the app router. First is creating a variable. I am just summarizing in a minute. How to create the object of the Go router. We need to provide the routes as $app routes and initial location as whatever from any routes we can choose. We need to provide the path of that as the initial route, initial location here. And then we need to use that router object in the material app dot routers router config here. This one is the object for Go router. Then we need to create the typed routes, typed Go route with using these annotations and create the class which extends Go route data and the build method, override the build method, which returns the widget, the screen, whichever for what screen I'm creating this route. And then when I'm using the routes, to use the routes, we are calling that class and providing all the values whatever we have in the constructor, and then simply push to that screen. If we don't push that screen, it's like it won't give any error, but it won't work as well. So sometimes if it happens that we have written this only, but it won't give any error, and we click on that, but it is not working, then simply we should check that if we have missed this push function, calling this push function, because this is simply creating the object of details route. Then we have pop navigator. This will also work, but we are using core router, so I will show that implementation. I will just use context dot pop. I need to import Go router for that. It's not automatically importing, so I will just copy paste from here. Now it's good. I'll copy it here as well in the detail screen too. Now we have go to in the home screen, we have go to second screen. It come to the detail screen, then go to detail screen 2, go back, go back. Tabber will also work similarly. So this is the basic navigation implementation, and this is only painful for the first time. So, am I going too fast, sir? Just is it fine for everyone now, or should I repeat anything? Okay. So this is the basic implementation. Now we come to the next thing, which is bottom navigation bar. In most of the modern applications, we will see bottom navigation, where we have 4 or 5 options in the bottom part. So let us see how to implement that. Uh, I will open another project for now just to save time. I will copy some pieces of code from there. I will create a new file as bottom nav screen. bottom nav screen dot dart. I'm pasting a code. I will explain in a minute. Let me first clear this. Okay. So now we have there's some code I will explain. 1 minute. I have cleared almost all the things. I just have the stateful widget here. Yeah. So here we have scaffold in the bottom nav screen, stateful widget. In the bottom navigation bar, I will give a bottom navigation bar widget. Bottom navigation bar. As it takes the bottom navigation bar. It will take any widget here, but we particularly have the bottom navigation bar widget in Flutter. So there is a required parameter for items, which we need to provide for the all the items here. So it will take a list of bottom navigation bar item.
Hello, Ayush. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, can you zoom your screen a bit? Yeah, this
Is it good now?
Yeah.
I see a chat here. Is there any concept of query parameters in routing? Yes. So what I showed here in the query parameter, like 1 second. This one is exactly the query parameter kind of thing. If we had used go router without go router builder, we had to do like we had to write it as objects of like JSON. But here we are using type safe routes. We are defining it should be string and nothing else. So this is working like this is exactly type query parameters. So for the items, we need to pass a list of bottom navigation bar item. So I will add one bottom navigation bar item. Here the required parameter is icon. So I will first of all provide icon. For writing any icon, we need to write call the icon widget, and then inside I need to provide the icon data. So that I can provide using icons dot whatever options I have. I can provide dot and do control space to get the suggestions. So I can write home, or there are many default. These are icons are provided by the Flutter default. By default, we can also use the image assets, which I will show in the maybe in next class. How we can use custom icons or custom images. So we also have more parameters here like label. So for that we need to provide like this home. I am not adding more parameters for now. Just let me show the how it will look first of all. I'm adding, if we add only one bottom navigation bar item inside the items, it won't work because it will throw error that at least we need at least two to have the bottom navigation bar item. It doesn't make sense to have only one item for the bottom navigation. So okay, we don't have bottom navigation bar in the screen, that's why it's not appearing. We are in the home screen in the application in the initial routes. So I will go to the app router.dart file and will create another route for that. Let me copy from another project once again. So as we had go route for other, as you can see, typed go route for normal routes. For bottom nav routes, we have typed stateful shell route. So 1 minute, let me copy this and then I will explain. I will import this bottom nav screen. Let me remove these errors first of all and then resolve these errors and then I will explain. I just need to create few routes for that because suppose I have a bottom navigation for with three items: home, favorites, and account. So I need to have three screens for that. When the user clicks on home, it should show the home screen. When the user clicks on favorite, it should show the favorite screen. And same for the account screen. So I need to have three screens. For that, we need to have three routes. So I am just creating those routes first. I will copy the above route, paste here, and will change the name of the class first of all as suppose favorites. Giving the name as path and name as fav. Just then we can have account route. We also need to create the account screens and favorite screen. So now I will create those in another files rather than creating everything in the main.dart. I will create a new file under the lib folder, which is favorite screen.dart. I will create the stateless widget here as favorites. I actually have a snippet here, so I'm using that to create it a bit to save some time. It's nothing, just scaffold, single child scroll view, and column. And I will place a text here just to know which screen it is. And I will use the favorite screen in this app router favorite route. This one. I will return this favorite screen. Now I will create the account screen for this account route. I'll create a new file, account screen.dart. It's nothing, just my own custom created snippet. From that, I have the shortcut to create it. This is the account screen. Now for this account route, I will return the account screen. Okay, so like we had the details to route and type go route these things. Now for the bottom navigation, there's one change only. I'm collapsing these favorite routes, account routes, these things. We have bottom nav route, which is not exactly same from the previous one. It extends stateful shell route data instead of go route data, because we have shell route is nothing but the nested navigation kind of thing. We will be having three routes under the same screen, which is the bottom navigation. We have one screen with containing the bottom navigation on and all those three screens, and then we have the nested shell routes, the route for the home screen and the route for the favorite and for the account. We have three different routes and three different screens, which is contained inside one single route and screen, which is bottom nav route and bottom nav screen. So inside this, we are using page builder, which I already showed previously that we can use build method as well, and we can also use page builder. We are just using no transition page. It is nothing. Instead of this, we can also do the same thing. The inside implementation is no change. It's just we are using custom transition. So that because when we are using this kind of navigation, go to second screen, this animation is okay. But when we are doing changes in bottom navigation, then we don't want to see the transition. It's just how we want. So it's implementing like that. Using the no transition page, there will not be any default transition. So now above this, I will create typed stateful shell route instead of typed go route, and will give the bottom nav route as it is there. And then inside this, I will create branches, because we have three branches. They are treated as branches or shell routes. So we need to provide the shell routes inside this. Shell route is nothing but the we can say child routes, and this is the parent route. So now I will create the type stateful shell branch, and inside that I need to provide the routes here. So the first route, the first the first branch will be for the home slash home. We need to provide that this exactly same as what we have provided for the child route, and this won't have any sub again because we can nest the routes here. We can have bottom nav route ones, then we can have inside the home screen we can have child routes here, but we won't be going too deep for that. It's not very frequently used. Now we will just create three branches here, one for home route, home shell branch. Then we have favorite shell branch. Then we have account shell branch. I will just make this same as what we have used here. This should be same, otherwise it will give error. And also this type here, this needs to be favorite route, favorites route. And for this account route, I actually made a mistake here that we don't need to provide type go route here for the shell routes. because it is a shell route, not a type co route here. So this won't be having the annotations here. Instead, it will be having the type stateful shell branch here, and inside that, in the routes list of route, we will create the type co route without the at the rate thing here. Okay, so this is already almost, we are almost done. I will create one more here. This is the bottom navigation screen. I am just creating the one more bottom nav route here and changing the labels here. I'm giving any icon which is available here. One minute, let me check. We also need to change it for the home route as well. This is not needed here. So now our bottom navigation is visible here. If you click on this, nothing happens because we haven't implemented the changing of like going to that route. So here we need to, inside this bottom navigation bar, we have provided the items. Now we need to provide on pressed or on changed. Sorry, the name is on tap. Here we get the function. We need to pass a function which has a parameter int. What is this int? This is the value on which the user has tapped. So if we do control space here, it will give us suggestion, and we just need to enter it. It will give the value of the selected. Suppose if I click on favorites, it will give me 1 because in the list it is 0, 0th index, first index, and second index. I can also write it as print. Suppose if I forget this, how to know what is the index and what I'm getting on tab, I can simply write print and inside that the value or whatever I want to print. So when I click on this, it will return me it will print the value inside this debug console in the VS Code. So if I click on home, it is giving 0. If I click on favorites, it is giving 1. For account, it is giving 2. So now I just need to do, if I just need to check the value. If value is equals to 0, I want to go home to the home route dot push. If value equals to 1, then I want to go to the favorites route dot push. Let us check the implementation first, then we will implement also for the account. So actually it has gone to the favorite screen, but because I haven't used the safe area there, that's why it's not visible. As you can see, this favorite screen is coming here, the small text. I will wrap this single child scroll view in the favorite screen with the safe area. Now it is visible here. Let me also increase the font size for this. I will also do the same for this account screen. So now if you click on favorite screen, it is going to that. If you click on home screen, and for account screen is nothing happening because we haven't done that. If the value is 2, I want to go to the account route. So I'm on the home screen. I click on favorites. It is there. Then accounts. It's there in the account screen. Also, you can see we don't have the back button in these screens, but we have that in the home screen because we haven't provided the app bar in the account screen and favorite screen. But I have provided that in the home screen. But there's nothing to back here. So I will just go to the home screen. Sorry, it's in the main.dart, and I will provide a leading here. If I want to provide something here, some icon here, I need to provide a leading in the app bar, and that leading can be anything, any widget. It takes a widget as a parameter. By default, it is giving a back button, but I don't want anything, so I will give size box here. It will just create a empty size box here and will remove the default widget from here from the leading. So as you can see, this is removed. Now we have one more thing that in the bottom navigation, I don't want I'm not getting any feedback from the bottom navigation bar that which one is selected. I'm only getting from here. So I can also provide this here. I can provide a selected icon for this, active icon for this for the bottom navigation bar. For this, I have icons.home. For this active icon, what it means that I am on the home screen and it will show the active icon. When I am on the home screen, it will show the active icon instead of this gray home icon. So I will just change the color of that. For the active one, I will give a color. Suppose colors dot. I'm giving the amber. That's it. So it is showing yellow. But when I click on favorites, it's still showing the home as the active. Let me change it for all the three tab bar. Let me quickly copy paste. So even if I have added the active icon with amber color, it's not changing because I need to provide the in selected index here. I think current index here. So I need to keep a track of current index, whatever is selected. On the basis of that current index, it will the particular item will get the active icon will get activated and will be shown. So I will keep a value here, integer current index equals to 0, and I will provide this current index here. I have just kept the name same, but it can be anything. It doesn't relate to this current index, this name. It can be anything. So also I want to change it when I click on favorites, when I click on account, I want to change this. So simply I will do the set state here as we learned that yesterday. I will set inside this set state, what it does, it just rebuilds the screen and will change the values, any values we have inside this stateful widget. Like the value will be changed, but what set state does is it reflects that change in the UI. So I will set the current index to be 0 if I am on this one, and same for the below one. Here it should be 2. Here it should be 1. Now if I click on favorites, now it is active. Account, this one is active. So as you can see, when I'm clicking on these screens, we don't have the no transition page animation. We have this default animation, but this is not looking good for a bottom navigation perspective. because when I switch on this tab, bottom navbar items, in other application it doesn't uh, changes like this, the sliding transition. So if I want the normal like quick switch transition, what I will do, I will just change it to, instead of build, I will do build page, and here it will return page instead of widget. It's nothing, it's a transition, it's a different class. Instead of widget, it's a page. We only use in that in the routes, nowhere else. So, and in the return, we can't return the widget directly. We have some transition classes which extends this page. So we will just wrap this no transition page here. For same for the account route, I will change the implementation, and also for the home route. So So I've just changed this to return a no transition page wrapped with home screen, and the return type is page, and instead of build, it is build page for all the three routes. Now I will restart, and when I switch this, it doesn't shows the default animation transition. So this is the most of the things I think I have covered for the routing. Also, let me show the drawer as well, because many apps has that also. It will take 5 minutes more. I will provide an app bar here. In the bottom nav screen, I am doing it so that it reflects on all the three screens. First, we need to have an app bar for having a drawer. Then we need to have uh, we have a drawer parameter here in the scaffold. Here we can provide a drawer widget. We also have drawer widget. So for almost most of the things, Flutter provides us customizable widgets from the Flutter SDK. If we need, we can also create custom widgets. I will show that after this routing is completed. Like as you can see, for app bar, we have app bar, drawer, we have drawer, bottom navigation bar. So almost everything we have some Flutter widgets. Here, I can check what it is taking as the parameter. First of all, we have child. I can provide a column. So basically for drawer, uh, let me show drawer example in mobile. So this is a drawer. Which opens from the left side. So how can we construct this, the UI of this? We need to have a column here. Then we need to have the rows here, because we have but like the first thing is it is vertically aligned. Everything is vertically aligned. So we need to have the column first. Then we this every tiles kind of thing is aligned horizontally. The icon and then the text label. So these are the rows. So I will just simply, this will also be better to show because it will help in the UI building part. So first of all, I have put the column here inside the drawers child. There's a column. Then I will put a, there's also a widget called list tile. which provides some. We can also create this using the container and decoration, and inside the container we can use row and a size box. But that thing is already built by Flutter, which takes leading, title, subtitle, and trailing parameters and will construct that kind of UI. So I'm just using that. We can also do that the same thing by our own using container and rules. So not trailing, I will add leading, which is the left part of the this. This is the leading, this is the title, and this is the trailing. And if I want to provide some subtext here, that will be subtitle if you are using list type. So I will provide an icon here, icons dot. I'm giving any random icon here, doesn't matter. After that, I am giving title. This will take a widget. I'm providing it as a first option, first menu item. I will just copy paste it below and will do change. So now this drawer appears here. If we click on that, so now again we have this issue. We need to provide the safe area for this as well because this is not included in this screen. We have provided the safe area inside the body. This is outside the body, so we don't have the safe area here. We will just wrap this column with the safe area. Now this is perfectly fine. But we have one more problem here. If I have more items which won't fit here, then it will again give the render overflow issue. So if I show here by adding more, this will give the error. What we can do is we wrap this again with the single child scroll view. Wherever we need some kind of scrolling where this is not fitting in the screen size, we can wrap that using single child scroll view. So from the first menu till the last, all these are showing here. So now this is looking a bit odd when I'm having home screen here as the app bar. So from the sub routes, I will just remove the app bars from there. Like from the home screen, I will just comment this one. From the favorite screen as well, I will. Oh, so the favorite and account doesn't contain the app bar, so that's fine. So this is almost everything we have done for the routing. Razak, do you have anything in mind that we are missing?
Not for now, Ayush.
Okay,
I guess we have covered every necessary point.
okay. So we have few more things to cover for the previous class which we left on regarding the widgets and some best practices. So I think it would be better to have the discussion. I think Tanmay sir, please suggest uh, that we discuss the regarding the any doubts in the routing. Then we go to the continue. Yes. Yes. So anyone is having doubts, or don't see any hands or any questions? Okay, so we have things like suppose in the main.dart. No, I will go to the bottom nav screen, and here this is real. This will get really complex when we include everything in the single stateful widget. So what we can do, we can split them. So as you can see right now, it is 152 lines of code, around 150 lines of code for just for the bottom nav screen. So it's a very good practice to split those this in different parts. This will also make our code reusable. So what I will do for drawer, I will click on this bulb icon, and here I will get an option of extract widget. This will open the command palette and will ask for the name of the widget I want to create. This will just do create a another stateless widget below this in except of the bottom nav screen. So I will name it as suppose primary drawer. We could have also done that previously. We could have created stateless widget from for primary drawer and could have used it here, but we don't know which widget will get bigger. So later on, if we want, we can just extract that widget and do have that as split. So now this bottom nav screen will be cleaner when we come to this code, and also this primary drawer will be reusable. We can use this class directly in any screen wherever we want. So after this, we have how to use the image and assets. Suppose this is for uh, we have used icons till now, text and container, all those things. But if I want to use the assets, custom images, icons, and fonts. So for that, we use a package which is uh, Flutter underscore gen. So let me show the basic way rather than showing the package. I will go to pubspec.yaml and will uncomment this part, the last part. That's why I have left this thing. We need to uncomment this assets. First of all, I'm showing for the assets. So we don't have any folder yet. We need to create a folder for assets or images. Then we need to provide the path of that. So I will just create, and that should be in the root directory. Like it's better to keep it in the root directory. We can have it in the other directories, but let's not do that. So we have the assets directory here. I can add any image here, and I will just provide the assets slash this thing here. So the indentation here is very important. After this flutter, it's two tab, and then after this colon in the next line, it's again after the two tab, again two tab, then after hyphen, one tab. So this we could remember it like the hyphen should be under the second S of the assets, and the A should be under the T of this assets, T assets. So I will try to download some images and will show. So I need to put that image file inside this assets folder. I will just copy, drag and drop here. And now almost done. We need to come, let me add this to the account screen. After this center widget, I want to show this image. Putting a comment. So for displaying image, we have the image widget, and we have multiple constructors for that: image.asset, image.file, image.memory, image.network. If that file is coming from the asset that we have in the our folder in this project, then we will use this one. Or if we want to show the image from the network, then we will use image.network. I will show both of them. We have file or memory, but that is like if we have some file created in the runtime or memory, then that is used. We'll showcase that later on. So in image.asset, first of all, this is not a constant. So I will remove the const from here, and we'll need to provide the path, relative path to this. So what is the relative path? I can just copy from here. Copy on the right click on this file for which I need the path, and we'll get the option for copy relative path. And then uh, we'll paste it inside this as a string. I'm restarting this. Then we go to account screen. It comes here. So this is very big. If I want to change the size, I can have I can provide the height and width. Suppose I'm giving the height as 200 and width as uh, 100. So this will change accordingly. Also, if I want to have it from the network, then I will just go on the image, will copy the image address, and I'm commenting this one, image.asset. I will use the image.network, image.network, and the path of that image. It again has added the const, so I will remove that. It is showing the same thing. I will also add this height and width. So this is how it works. And there's one more thing, SVGs for icons, because we have many icons in the Flutter's default library, default SDK. But we may want to use some custom icons. So for that, we use SVGs because the images, JPG, PNG, those are very heavy. Those consume more space. And SVGs are vector assets. So those take less space. So I will, if I want to use custom icons, then I will use SVG for that. So for using SVG in Flutter, we need to use a library which is Flutter SVG. This one. So I will just copy this and will add to the pubspec.yaml in under the dependencies, and we'll do pubget. Now, if I let me pick up an SVG from somewhere. Suppose this is an SVG. If I go to export, this is Figma. You will get the SVG from wherever. We will just I'm just downloading it from Figma, one of my file. This is here. I will rename it as example SVG. And again, the same thing. I will just use that file, like paste that file under the assets folder. And the same thing. Sorry, this SVG won't work. Let me find another one. Suppose if I want to use this icon, uh, in the Figma, this is the default process of getting the SVG. I'm just downloading it. So this home icon, for this home icon also, I will just copy relative path, same as for the image which we have done. The only change is I need to write, I need to use another widget for this, like SVG picture dot asset, and now the asset name. So maybe there's some issue. The SVG file is corrupted, but this is the process for SVG picture. I'm unable to find a like correct version, correct file for SVG, but we need to provide this. This is the exactly same process. We need to use SVG picture dot asset and then the file path for that icon. So this is it for the remaining part from yesterday. So I think we can conclude the today's session as well. Tanmay sir. And yeah, I think yes, yes, please, Krishna sir. Yes.
Um, Actually, I was thinking to ask you that before in that screen when you just said that you need to give that push notification, else there will the application will not run, but no error will be shown if you don't give that
Yes.
push notification. If I am remembering correctly, because actually this was going on, so maybe
I think you are talking about this one. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So,
This one.
So what is the doubt here?
So actually, I wanted to know if it is not an error, then why the application is not running? What is the problem with this one?
So let me show it what happens if I don't have this. This is going to the details route. So if I'm on the home screen, if I click on this button, nothing happens. There's no error, nothing. But also it doesn't, nothing happens.
Yes, actually, that was my question. Why not?
Okay, so why not? Because the when we are writing details route and whatever the parameters are there, it doesn't matter. The it is only creating a object of this details route based on the oops concept we have. It is creating the object of the details route, but doesn't it is not calling any functions. It doesn't operating like performing any operation on that because this is just the simple object of this class details route. When we call this push, this is a function. This performs the under the hood. This performs this thing, like calling another screen and brings it to the top. This is just the object of that class. It doesn't perform any operation.
So it is an object or some uh, abstract class that we are talking about, because actually when we are just calling this details route,
Mhm.
if this was an object is a kind of a physical thing to program, so it should run anything.
No, no, the code will run fine. There won't be any error or anything like. But the thing is, suppose if I have a class, let me show this here. Suppose if I have a class, sample class, and I have some this the random. I'm taking random names. Does some operation. This is a sample class having a some function here. When I am creating the object of sample class, it shouldn't do anything. Sample equals to sample, this thing. So this shouldn't do anything, right? This will only create the object of the sample class. When I do sample dot some function, then this operation will, suppose if I have print uh, 4 plus 5. So this function should be run when I'm calling sample dot some function. Am I able to explain? Suppose if I write this as
this class, this details route object has nothing in it unless we sorry. So this details route function is only
yes,
an object that is created, but this
yes,
object contains nothing now
yes. This is
unless
simply
unless call for the push function
yes, yes. This is
from
nothing but
the
an
from
object of a class based on the OOPS principles. So if we do it like route, I have taken it in a variable, and if I do it like route, and then I can call, because it is an object of details route, I can call all the functions here as well, like this. This will also work the same way.
Okay, so we are actually overriding this push class from the details route class, push function from the details route class. We are
No,
actually
no,
overriding it.
no. I am not overriding it. I am calling that function because like overriding work has been done from the router. This builder. This has been already done. I have add like this is the function of the core out data.
Yes. Actually, that is what I am
Yes,
saying. That details route class has this push function already.
yes,
Have this push function, and this push
yes,
function has been overridden in that route class object. And when we go for the route object and call for the push function, that overridden function is being called for.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. Actually, I was trying to understand what is happening in the background or that concept
Sure,
because
sure,
it will
sure.
be
Please
uh,
ask
because
these questions. Yeah.
it will be something difficult for us to make students understand this because the students whom we are going to teach these things, they don't have object-oriented programming concept yet.
Yes,
So first of all, we need to make them understand what is object-oriented thing is and all the functionalities and features of object-orientedness, and then we go for this. Uh, so it will some it will take some
sure,
time. Okay, thank you.
sure. Any more questions? I see some chat here suggesting to share the code. I will. I didn't get time to create the repo today. Uh, I will create it after
But
this meeting.
one more thing, another thing.
Sure,
I
sure,
just
sure, sir.
that image thing from previous days class. You just said that JPG and PNG are heavy image files. Those are actually bitmap files, and
Yes,
so we need to work with SVG because SVG are simple vector graphics. But
yes,
that means we cannot go with some uh, when we want if we just want to give some complex picture, we can't do it because SVG actually not
yes.
suitable
I
for
mean, yes, I
complexity.
understood that. I mean, wherever we can, we should prefer wherever we can. It's not that we should go only with the SVGs. We also use the PNG and JPG, but wherever we can,
That will
we prefer to
make
go
the
with SVG.
application slow, but JPG and PNG may make the application slow, right?
If we use too much of them.
Okay.
If you use 10, 15, 20 images, that won't affect anything. It will be like having 1 MB more extra space.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, sure.